It's just occurred to me we really haven't had a completely successful test of this equipment.
I blame myself.
So do I.
Well, no sense worrying about it now.
Why worry? Each of us is wearing an unlicensed nuclear accelerator on his back.
Yeah. Now let's get ready. Switch me on. I don't think you're crazy.
Back off, man. I'm a scientist.
What is up, Ghost Heads? It's another episode of the Ghost Heads Radio Show. My name is Ted, aka Steady. Joining me, my partner in crime, you know him as the one and only Matty B.
Miller time once again. Wednesdays at 9-ish, 10-ish. That's when you can find us. You know what I'm talking about, Ted. What are we doing today?
Oh my God, we have so many cool things to talk about today. The Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed developers dropped a whole slew of new items and customizations and maps for the upcoming DLC, which is totally free, by the way. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about more Haslab Proton Pack mods. Maddie's got a few, and then probably first, what I want to talk to you about, sir, is how my pack is going so far. Because I haven't done a lot, but what I have done is going well so far. I'm taking it slowly but surely, and also I have a couple of challenges that I had that I haven't really mentioned to you about. So we'll talk about that coming up, actually, right here, right now. Gunnar Barker's in the chat saying, "Hello, boys." You should follow
What's
that
going
up with "I'm back," and then everybody's gonna get that Independence Day reference. That would be awesome. If you're in the chat,
Eligible.
if you're in the chat, tell us what's up. Tell us what you've done to your actual Proton Pack from Hasbro. What mods have you incorporated? What mods do you have planned? Let us know in the chat below. And then also just give us a shout out. Who are you repping? Which team are you with? What city you repping? Let us know. Appreciate you guys joining tonight. Maddie, so last we spoke, we were talking about the very small things I was going to do with my Haslab pack. And before I take it down, because it's a good 20-ish pounds right now, let me show you just the paint job that I've done, and it's not a lot so far, but this is a very simple mod for those of you who want to um, kind of give some color to your connectors, because all the most of them are black, right? All the rubber pieces, they're all black. But you can actually get back to that sort of 1984-ish style by painting your connectors. I went to your craft store, general craft store, and picked up a gold pen that would kind of come off pretty copperish. So check out these bad boys. These are actual updated. They should be dry by now. I did these about a few hours ago, but just took a gold pen to these things, a gold paint pen, and colored the tips of those. Now, I wanted to see how they would turn out. I will say I am pretty happy with them. Maddie, are you pretty happy with them?
I think they look great. I'm honestly so happy right now because we haven't been talking about the mods you're going to do to your pack. I know you probably don't
Yay.
talk. You probably don't want to talk to me about it, which I don't blame you for because you're not a modder per se. I think we can say that. That's fair to say. Usually,
I
you
am
get
not
your
artistic.
well. No, I wouldn't say you're not artistic. Usually, when you buy something and you have it as a collectible, you like to keep it the way that it is. I think that's your general way of buying things.
Yeah.
So I'm like the opposite. I buy something and I immediately want to take it apart. And there's two factions of that community. So I'm actually really, really happy to hear that, Ted. I'm super stoked on that because you're taking your time to sort of make it your own and taking that dip into the modding community. And I'm super proud of you. So I'm just gonna shut up and just say keep going, bud.
Keep going, absolutely. So The two red cables are your prime candidates, I think, for the gold connector update. The other ends, this one is should be silver actually. So there is a silver paint pen by the exact same brand. Since that went so well, I'm actually gonna go get the silver one. Had it not gone well, I was not gonna buy the silver one, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So
Let's just get into that part of the convo then, because I'm not going to be
sure.
able to stop on this. Um, have you? Because we're talking about mods tonight, and maybe we should just lead off with this because I see some mods that I think are pretty cool, and I've seen some that are very easy to do, like the ones you just showed, but also the diffuser on the cyclotron light. Some people have just used a piece of printer paper. Um, I don't love the individual lights themselves. I don't like being able to see them that clearly through the lens. And I've seen some really good examples of people who disperse the light in their packs. Have you thought about doing anything like that at all, or do you like the individual?
You know, it's weird because it looks great if you're doing the afterlife style, you know? You get that spin really, really well. I actually would have preferred that. I don't know if you can do this. If you tilt the three lights in each of the cyclotrons a little bit so that they're not kind of in a perfect circle, but like there might be like maybe three small circles in one. You know what I'm
Yeah,
trying to say?
I know what you
I
mean.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would give that effect. I would like to see. I would like to try that or see somebody try that. But
Because my thing is, there's people like who love the look of these individual three lenses, but those people are also okay with the milky lens on the power cell, and those two ideas just don't make sense to me. So, like if I was Hasbro,
yeah,
I would have gotten red milky lenses for the cyclotrons so you could disperse the light so it looks classic 84, but you also get the spinning effect. But I would have went clear on the power cell lens.
yeah. I understand what you're saying, and what you say makes perfect sense. I'm not trying to deny that whatsoever. I am one of those who like I like the milky power cell because it looks less like LEDs and it kind of feels more like there's some sort of power behind that. It's not 100% there, but it kind of feels like it. Now, I would like to try doing the cyclotron lights like you mentioned, but I don't want to use paper. I feel like there's something else that would work better. I don't know what it is. I was actually at the same store, department store I was at, and I was looking for some sort of plastic or maybe even like a tape or something that would have acted and done the same thing, but didn't really find anything. I
Well, we're
thought
getting
about
close to back to school time. So the
yeah,
best time to get stuff like this is when binders are out, because dividers and binders are awesome crafting tools, especially if you're in this space. So, one of your dividers could be a very dark blue, clear piece of plastic that's thin and it's malleable, and you can kind of do your thing with it. I think when back to school comes back, it's not the craft stores that you'll find a nice milky um, binder divider to cut a little circle out of, and you could disperse that light really easy, very cleanly, without it being a piece of paper. It could actually be a piece of plastic that would, I think, capture the light a little bit more.
I'm picturing and I'm trying to figure out where I saw it. Like, I'm thinking it's almost like a food tray that has like a bubble small bubble texture on it like throughout the bottom, but like a thin almost translucent looking plastic, something like that. If you just cut those circles out, it might kind of spread. I want something that makes it a little brighter and spreads the light out further, not
Yeah.
just cover the light. I want it to like blind people. If I could do that, I would love to. But well, I'll keep an eye out for what people are doing, and I'm also going to keep looking for materials that I think would also get the job done. Those two cables, the ones I showed you, those were done. Also, the blue cable that sits on top near the iron arm, I did that one as well. And then, if anybody has tried to attach your Haslab pack to an LC2 Alice frame, you might be feeling my pain right now. I got the job done, but it wasn't clean and it wasn't 100%. So I'd probably show you guys that now. Let me take this bad boy down.
Oh, Ted.
This thing is bulky. All right, so there's a lot of talk online, right? You saw it, I saw it. They started out with don't buy the LC2s, they won't work. A few people said, hey, you know what? I tried it. It wasn't easy, but it worked. I'm here to tell you that it'll get the job done, but I wouldn't really say it works. Here's what I mean. We were given two bottom screws, right? And then we were given 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fasteners, right? 5 brackets. And just put this down. We were given 5 brackets. 3 for the vertical arm and then 2 for the horizontal. And you can see the 3 that are vertical there. 1, 2, 3. Those are pretty good. They're very sturdy. It's not moving. My LC2 is a used Alice frame. I didn't mind, right? Because the whole thing's supposed to look used. I did have to straighten it out because there's a pretty good curve or bend in it. And when I tried to attach it the first time, um, the bars on the Alice frame like wouldn't even reach in far enough to be screwed into the pack. So had to straighten it out, bang it with a rubber mallet, and then the brackets for the horizontal arm, they don't even go all the way around. They're just like a millimeter too short to actually cover the entire horizontal arm. And so might be a couple of things I can do, right? I can try and bend it a little bit using some pliers or something to kind of shorten that distance. But even still, if you look at where the hole placements are for that horizontal arm, like you can see it's not real centered there. So that's going to be a problem. Like my sticker there,
I
Slimer
do.
with the
But you just got to go to Amazon, get that Rothko LC1 frame. It's a great frame. I love mine.
well,
Um,
here's what I'm thinking, and you're not wrong. If I wanted it to go cleanly, LC1 all the way gonna work. But as I mentioned, I got the 3 brackets on there, very sturdy, and then you got the 2 on the bottom. You can't see it because of the padding on the bottom there, but you got the 2 stabilizing bolts in the bottom. This bad boy ain't moving. Is all I'm trying to say. I think no matter what, this is gonna get the job done, and I've already tested it out in the wild. We wore it to a community church event held by our fearless leader, Rob. Shout out to Rob wherever he's at. And I wore this bad boy for a good hour and a half. Didn't move, doesn't shake, doesn't anything. Just solid as a rock. So I think for now, and I'm praying, that this is enough to kind of keep it in place. I think it's going to be fine. Is what I'm trying to say. So,
Everything's okay until you're halfway through a parade. That's all I'm saying.
ooh,
Because the more you walk and wiggle, the pack is slowly starts to come out of those screws that have a lot of tension on them. And all I'm saying is everything's fun and games until you're halfway through a parade and you're a few legs behind the cars that are leading you, and you have to run up there without dropping your proton pack and getting it in the back of a car. I'm not speaking from personal experience. This is just hypothetical, but it did actually happen to me.
you definitely might be right. I would definitely say though that like this thing is screwed in extremely well. I mean there's nothing is loose. This frame is not loose anywhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like this vertical arm that's on the frame, the Alice frame, it works pretty darn good. And because the LC2 has that curve at the top, it kind of makes it even more sturdy because there's some tension there
yeah.
pulling away from it. Um, I think we're good. I think we're good. Uh,
I think we're good too, man. How did it feel having it on for the first time?
Not
Your
bad.
full size one by one.
I
You
loved
know,
it. I loved it. Had a great time. Had a bunch of people stopping me. A couple of kids that like wouldn't take their eyes off the pack. So it was like it was pretty awesome wearing it. Got a lot of compliments. It was fantastic. Oh, there's actually 4 cables that I did. Here's the last one. Can't find my camera here. Did the gold on that connector there, and then on the bottom part of it too, right there. So honestly, that gold pen turned out extremely well. Okay, I also tried the silver on this. What do you want to call that, Maddie? The one that holds the cables, the cable holder
oh yeah, that's a clamp cable. Yeah, it's a clamp. Yeah, the
clamp.
ribbon clamp. Yeah,
That was all black rubber before. I put that sort of metallic. It's actually a piece of tape strip with a metallic shine on it, metal shine on it.
it does look better. I can see it shining.
Absolutely.
Rob gave me a really good. I was literally at Home Depot when I was building my pack and trying to get some of these parts, and I was texting Rob the whole time, and he was literally sending me exact part numbers and location in the store. He's like, 6 drawer to the bottom in aisle 13. It's all the way, and he was like, it's like an automotive clamp. It's what they use to hold down automotive cables and cars.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually
Are
might
you?
ask my I might ask my pops if he has one. He's like me. He kind of keeps everything that he finds, and eventually he's going to use it. There's probably a lot of people in this group like that as well. Wife, it drives the wife crazy, but I use all these things. Clearly, I do. Anyways, yeah. So that looks pretty good. If it's too shiny, I might see what that silver pen looks like on it as well. That might give it more of a duller shine. This is really shiny. It's almost like a mirror is what it looks like. But yeah. One more time for old time's sake. Oh yeah.
How's that? How's the iron arm? So is the iron arm metal?
Totally metal. This bad boy is solid. They actually packaged it separately, I guess, so that it wouldn't get damaged in any sort of way. That metal pen, sorry, that silver metal pen. I plan on covering the front of this too with that. Seeing how
Yeah, I've
that.
seen some good 3D printed pieces too that actually have the screw covers on the front. Um, but it still fits into it just exactly the same. You
Yeah,
keep the one; it doesn't change anything. Um, but it actually has the screw covers on the front. That was the one big miss I thought they made altogether. Looking dead on at it, was no screw holes in the arm. Should be a couple hex bolts there.
it should be. It was kind of unusual that they wasn't done, but for whatever reason, the updates to The
Well, I don't think they got a full
Afterlife pack.
license. I don't think anybody's actually going to be allowed to make a real proton pack. Another thing I noticed about it was, doesn't it just have the red wire like the Spirit Pack? It doesn't have the red and blue wire there on the bottom towards the cyclotron.
It's got the red.
Yeah, so the hero packs and all the proton packs from the movies, I think they have a blue wire next to that red one, and the Spirit Pack only has a red one, and the Hasbro pack only has a red one. And the clipboard on the Haslab's a little bit off, the same as it is on the Spirit. I wonder if they're just not allowed to make certain things if they can't make it exact.
Chris Robinson in the chat says my old mil spec LC1 didn't fit either. The bottom spacer bolts were not even close to correct spacing. Everything else was fine. That's unfortunate. Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder
Let me
why.
let me share this, Ted. Hold on, while we're on this topic. This is one of the mods I've seen recently, and I think this would be super cool to throw into that spare compartment.
What he's talking about, Ro, here, yeah, everybody's already seen this. The spare compartment. Just press that in. Wait, let me hold this at the top. Oh, a lot of folks are talking about putting their real quick. A lot of folks are talking about putting their extra power cell batteries or their mini Stay Puffs in here, their wallets or their keys or whatever else they're thinking of. Matic found a great option for what to do with that space, and here it is. This is an Etsy 3D printed power cell insert.
Yeah, and so check this thing out. I mean, look at this video, and look how it looks inside of the pack. I mean, how awesome is that? So when you take off the cyclotron, you get all of those mechanics and stuff inside of there. They took that same idea here into the power cell, and it looks awesome. I mean, what a cool idea! And you can see here to the right of there, each one of those cells represents one of those lights on the front of the power cell. So that makes it make sense for each one of those bulbs to be lighting up, because that means that each part of the power cell is functioning at its highest level. This is awesome, Ted. What do you think about this?
It is impeccable. Whoever designed this, they actually, they used a lot of elements that we would probably expect as Ghostbusters. They use a smaller ribbon cable, which is pretty cool. The caution tape I thought was a nice touch, high voltage present, but it just looks like it actually belongs there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like if you didn't know what the inside of a proton pack looked like, and somebody asked you like, "Hey, what does the inside look like?" You could just pop that bad boy open, and they would 100% believe you. Like, "Oh my god, that looks complicated," and
yeah.
it's
This
it's
is one of
it's
the coolest
beautiful.
mods. It's one of the coolest mods, and it adds to that empty power cell portion what the cyclotron gives you in the Haslab pack, and also the Q pack and the Taco Belly Afterlife, the Phoebe pack that the 3D printer community came up with, had that cyclotron piece for a while. But I haven't seen anybody actually go in depth onto this. I mean, power cell insert. I think it's super cool. Christopher Robinson's in the chat, and he's like, "Yeah, it's awesome," but he's going to design his own. And I encourage everybody to do that, because I mean, there's a lot of cool ways that you can make this. But for $15, and give a shout out to GB Customs and Mods. I have never seen them before. It looks like they only have 14 sales. Maybe that's just on this particular thing here. I've been on Etsy for a while. I think they might be a little bit new, but this is really cool, man. And like, it gives purpose to that space. And for everyone thinking they're going to put their the battery pack there, the space where the D batteries goes is plenty big enough to put in a power cell. You're totally fine there. Use that space that's built for power in the pack to use that space, and all these other creative spaces that they gave you on the Haslab pack. Come up with stuff like this.
Oh yeah, it's gorgeous. Honestly, it's fantastic. I love the idea. I love the concept. I love all the different textures that they incorporated in there. I think it's great.
Yeah, I was trying to see what else they have in here just to give them a shout out. This is actually a pretty cool the Vigo New Year shirt. 1480. Happy New Year, Peter Venkman.
Happy New Year.
But yeah, they have the Spanglish spec shirt, but it looks like they have a GB1 ribbon cable for anybody looking for that. But yeah,
Wow.
this is one of the coolest mods that I've seen so far. What's yours, Ted? What's some things you've seen that you want to try out?
Well, let's see here. See how fast I can find it real quick. Everybody's been talking about the GB fans mod. Hold on, we got somebody in the chat named Aiden Kalunga. Wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
Who's better at the Ghostbuster game between y'all? Ooh, good question. I think Maddie might have more experience than me in the game. He's probably also higher rated than I am. We'll go Maddie. We'll go Maddie. Not by a
Yeah.
lot, but we'll go Maddie.
It's a good choice.
Okay, so I had like four or five people tagging me in this video from GB fans. Somebody with that group decided to install a battery pack, and they did the soldering, and it was a very simple cable that they used. And as soon as I find it, I'm gonna show it again. So I think finding the exact wire, the USB wire that's gonna allow you to run power from a power cell to the actual pack is great. I didn't know that you could just like buy that cable that is USB compatible, and then I think you're just left with getting whatever battery pack you want, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, that's pretty much how it works, right? Anything that kind of runs with a 9-volt power source will suffice for this pack, correct?
It should. So it just depends on what all you want to do. So you don't want to buy a huge battery pack because you're like, oh, I really want a shit ton of battery life. Because then you'll get a battery that's just overpowers and things won't fire the right way. So I think the talent cell that I have on my Spirit pack is also a little bit too big for this pack. I think that you probably need to go down. It has to push 9 volt at least, I think. But in some of these forms, like if you get a pigtail cable, you buy one of these batteries, you put the pigtail cable in, and you connect a black wire to a red wire, and you can suddenly power your pack now in a very easy to do way. Because I knew nothing about electronics when I put this together. It's going to be very similar to do that, but I mean, man, you may as well do that mod. I mean, who wants to keep around D batteries? That's probably what that power cell containment or that container was for, was to hold extra D batteries, maybe. But who wants to carry those around a con? People when they're it's an easy mod, I'm telling you. It's just you get the cable to plug into the power, the battery pack, and then you run a black cable to here and a red cable to there, and that's it. It's going to be pretty simple.
If you head on over to the GB fans Instagram page, you'll find this video there, and they quickly show you. You take out that power cable. They have one that you can purchase from them that goes to that exact port, and the other end you would solder. The other end goes to your power pack.
Yeah, you don't have to solder anything if you get that one.
Yeah,
That's just a direct into a port.
yeah, no
But if you don't
soldering
want
on
to
that
buy
one. My
that
bad.
one, if you don't want to buy that one, you can still just wherever the power pack is plugging in or the battery pack is plugging into now, you just switch those red and black wires. It's it's pretty simple to do, but this is awesome if it already has the port ready to go. Bingo bongo, plug and play, baby.
No, exactly. So actually, there's a Battery Plus store that I go to for all my battery and power and light bulb needs. I'm actually going to go to them and ask them these questions like, "Hey, do you have this cable in stock? If not, I can get it from GB Fans for sure." But running a battery pack through this thing and getting their thoughts on it. They actually might have some other ideas too that you can use. So yeah, this is fantastic. This has to be the easiest thing to do. A few people tagged me in this. So shout out to GB fans for posting this video. You can find them on Instagram and pretty much everywhere else. But yeah, fantastic video, and I feel like that's just the way to go. Um, you, I know you replace your speaker, right? That might be something I might do later on. Is replace the
Um,
speaker.
yeah, so on the Hasbro motherboard, there's the port for the speaker that's currently running now, but there's also a piece on there, SPK0. And so it's built for another speaker to go into that. So that's actually a really good mod. I've already seen a lot of people upgrading their speakers. A lot of people are doing the aux mod, which is what is on the Franken Geek pack, where you can just use an auxiliary cord to run out to a Bluetooth speaker or whatever you want to do. But the board in the Haslab pack has multiple options for you there. You can run it. You could do an aux mod, or you could do running a new speaker. But you would want to get an amplifier if you do that, because your sound's going to come out all muffled. So you can get in there and connect your new speaker to this board, and it'll get power. But unless you have an amplifier, it's not going to work. And they make very small amplifiers that you can get that you can definitely work with. But don't just go in and start soldering things unless you know the full formula of how to make it work. And make sure that you're one, pushing enough power, one, you have an amplifier, and three, that you know how to solder onto a board that you don't want to mess up.
You don't have to worry about me and soldering. Believe me, I'm going to. I have a cousin that would build guitars, and he would actually have to solder all the pieces together. I'll probably go to him and be like, "Hey, man, this is probably gonna take a couple of minutes for you. Go ahead and solder this for me if you can."
Ted's
Yeah.
such a delegator. Ted is a delegator.
Hey, you got a fan in the chat, Joe Montemayor, saying, "What's up, Matty B?"
No, he's just trying to keep nice because I called him a boomer last time he was on.
Chris Robinson says, I just took an old USB charger, put some alligator clips on the end, and clipped it to the battery contacts. Easy on, easy off. Interesting. All right, all right. Yeah, that works as well.
I got some alligator clips in the pantry, but it's just literally alligator chip clips that we use to keep our chips fresh. But they're shaped like alligators. So
That's really cool. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I don't have any clips like that that'll work, but might be able to find some. And Bryce says, "Well, damn, I'm late. I do have a good excuse. I was working on my belt gizmo. Hey, congrats, man. We want to see a photo of that when you are done, sir. I need me a belt gizmo. When are you getting a belt gizmo?"
I don't know. I've been thinking about it. I don't have a lot of room on the belt, to be honest with you. Once I have the PKE meter on, the lifeguard on, then you think about walkie-talkie belt. I mean, I don't really have that much waste to like dedicate to all of that on a belt. I do want a belt gizmo, but I know I would have to like sacrifice something on the belt.
What would you lose? What would you want to
Well,
lose?
I mean, you got gloves. So think about the way I even just wear my belt now. I got gloves, which takes up a good portion. The lifeguard, the PKE meter, the key fobs. Then it's like you have to literally decide between, okay, do I go walkie talkie, which is probably a better idea because it takes up less space. But anyone who's walking around with a lifeguard, a belt gizmo, a PKE meter, the walkie, you know what I mean? Like that's just a lot of things to wear at one time, dude. Especially when you're out and about and clips pop and you're trying to bend over or do things. It's I don't know how much real estate I got. I don't know if it's worth the investment.
We're talking about a belt gizmo. It's gonna look better than a pair of rubber gloves in Texas. You don't need nobody wears rubber gloves in Texas, all right? So you
You have
can
to have gloves. It's a part of the uniform.
yeah, the gloves go like the back of your belt though. That's where they go. They don't go like on the sides of your front.
No, but think about it. It's not a lot of room. I'm not a big guy, all right? So think about it. So we got belt buckle. We have
Ghost
lifeguard
heads
kit.
after dark.
We have, the PKE meter. You got the
Yep.
key fobs all through here. I got the gloves that would be sitting kind of back here. I don't know where would I put everything.
You just wanted to grab your ass on camera. That's why you did that.
Hey, only when we send stars. It's only with the Facebook stars.
That is right.
It's the
That
only
is
time I
right.
do.
Uh yeah, there you go. If you don't want to wear the belt gizmo, I will definitely wear the belt gizmo. I might redo these pieces because they're more yellow than they are like gold or copper. I know that sounds silly, but I don't know. There's almost like a greenish tinge to them. And if I
Really?
if I re
That's
if
the
I
first run,
repaint
right?
them, huh?
That's the first run of the Smegler one.
I'm pretty sure it is. I bought it much later than when it came out, because it was on sale, and I got it for a really good deal. But I'm pretty sure it's still the first run because it didn't come with the orange tip. Awesome.
Yeah, it's probably a little bit different though. I mean, for sure. I'm sure the wand and the pack look a little bit different based on the. It can't even be most of the same materials. They probably had to resource between the times they developed the pack and when they made the wand.
Yeah, pretty much. Keep an eye out
Yeah,
for
pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
pretty much. I'm sure they did. Pretty much. Keep an eye out for Bryce's photos. You got to get some suspenders at that point. To hold up all your gadgets on your belt.
Hey, it's a lot of gadgets. Look at these. These look great. Here's Bryce's bell gizmos, and in fact, these don't look too wide.
Uh-oh. For the skinny Ghostbuster men out there. Not many of them. Hey, look at that.
They look good. I like the pixie tubes up there too, and you can easily run some little LEDs up in there. But I like the daughter board and the motherboard. It has the Sanyo stickers on it. I mean, it's pretty legit.
I like it. I
I,
dig it.
I like it a lot.
Well done, sir.
Oh, sorry, I was watching Hey Arnold.
That's what you do during the day. You ain't working. You're watching Hey Arnold on YouTube.
Great show.
Fantastic show. Look, you have one of the greats, Scott Chase, out there telling you what he wears. Gloves, gizmo, trap, walkie-talkie. That's all you need, man. That's all you need.
Yeah, but you got to swap one because again, he said he didn't have a lifeguard, but he's looking to get one. I'm telling you, Scott, it's going to be a tough role if you want to go gloves, belt, gizmo, trap, walkie-talkie, lifeguard. It's just a lot. That's all I'm saying.
He is waiting for lifeguard for DB2 suit. Nice. That's true. You wear the tan. Do you see the lifeguard on the tan suit that often? I'm not really sure you do.
No, it was in a couple of the shoots. It was in a couple of the scenes, but the khaki suit is still the main suit. It was still the suit they wore in the final scenes, and I'm not sure that there wasn't a lifeguard in there. I can't recall the scene directly enough to say that nobody was wearing a lifeguard during that scene, but they were wearing it during this time. So you would imagine that during Ghostbusters 2, there was a charcoal gray suit, a navy blue suit, a khaki suit, and whatever was clean they kind of put on. And they would be using these tools for different jobs. Maybe not every job needed a lifeguard, you know. So I still think that the yellow lifeguard on the khaki suit is canon for sure.
I'm gonna watch the final scene of Ghostbusters 2 on my other monitor while we're doing this because I want to see if there's a lifeguard in there. I don't recall a lifeguard. I'll check it out
Do-
though.
The only time I can directly remember a lifeguard is on a photo shoot in the charcoal gray and the navy blue. Or if that's even a different suit, we don't really know. Because it could just be camera lenses, because I don't know that they had a navy suit or a dark gray suit. But it looks kind of navy in some things and it looks kind of gray in other parts. Um,
100%.
and so it's up in the air. Um, but the GB2 lifeguard was in the arena of tools they could use. They wore khaki most of the movie. Every once in a while, they had on the gray and blue. So I mean, I don't know. I think the lifeguard too is accurate.
I'm gonna go on a limb, and I'm gonna say that there are 3 suits. There's the original khaki, or the tan, whatever you wanna call it. I do
Or
think
gray.
no. I think that it is the tan one. I think, during the montage, we got the navy, and I wanna say there is a gray, but they only wore it during the shoots, like you said. I don't think it was ever worn on screen. Gray suits were ever worn on screen. And I could be wrong about that, but you know what? You are right about something. Here is a great shot of the final scene of GB2,
Yeah,
where
the
the guys are
lifeguard.
on the floor and all the lifeguards are there, baby. Look at that.
Well, two of them. Um,
Well, no, I think Ray's is there too. It's just that I think the hose is blocking it. I think it's on his
Yeah,
left
the
side.
the lifeguard is an essential piece, and it's a fun piece. It really helps to add to the suit, because there's a lot of khaki, there's a lot of black. It to me, the lifeguard to the suit is the same as the ribbon cable to the pack. It adds that little flare of color. It changes it up just enough to like give it a really good aesthetic, and the lifeguard does that for the cosplay as well. I mean, it just pops. It's just something else to look at. And all of them have the leg hose too. All of these Ghostbusters cosplayers. Okay, the leg hose is a thing. Remember that.
They're all there.
at least at least one person in the group has to have a leg hose, I think. It
Absolutely.
it's crucial. I really like their. I think a fun little addition to the cosplay would be these um, the bungee straps they have, because remember they bungeed in, but it's kind of like it kind of wears like a jock strap. But for the slime blowers, it really helps because it probably they're getting off a little bit of weight. But
You know what's great? I don't know. I've never seen anybody wear a slime blower in public, but it looks like these are almost like football inserts on like shoulder pads that they took off, and they put them all back together minus all the plastic outerwear
yeah,
for like football pads, and that's what they're wearing. That's what it looks like to me.
dude, they look so awesome. But it definitely looks like football pads for sure. And you really get a scale in that picture with Winston when his head's up against it. How big a slime blower actually is. Like,
Massive.
they're so big, it's unbelievable.
This is a great Ray. Oh, hang on. I'm having so much trouble with
Are-
this. There it is.
are
Look
we-
at that. These
yeah,
are football pad inserts, right? These are like what
yeah,
goes under. That's what it looks like, at least.
yeah. I can definitely see that, especially the way it connects over the shoulders, because that's the way football pads come in. You got to put that metal thing in and make sure it twists. Um,
That is
no, but
wild.
yeah, it looks great. I'm so glad they took that advance of the technology there. I'm wondering what the next movie is going to do. And speaking of that, we got the confirmations that we're for sure going to get Sigourney, Dan, and Bill. I don't know that we have a contract for Ernie Hudson.
Um, I
He's going to be in it.
mean,
Don't get me wrong, but I'm just
yeah.
wondering why that is. If he's literally hustling and hustling in a good way, because he deserves some money back. I think. Do you think he wants like a certain number to say? If you want me back, I'm more involved than Dan, Bill, or whoever else. Like, I'm actually going to be a part of the storyline here. I need some more money.
I'll give Ernie a call. I'll see what's going on. He probably hasn't had a chance to tell anybody about his mega contract because he's clearly the busiest out of all of them, right? Um,
He's
m-
working his
more
ass off.
more than Dan and more than Bill. He's in all these TV shows. He's on this reboots of Quantum Leap, and he's been on
He was
like.
in Bad Batch. He's special guest in Bad Batch.
Yeah, he's in the Star Wars universe now. He also did that. He did that spin-off of Bad Boys where they had like Jessica Alba and Gabrielle Union as the leads, and he was in that playing Martin Lawrence's dad. And then he's in Quantum Leap, and then he was also on the Netflix show Grace and Frankie, and he's like a huge hit on Grace and Frankie. The ladies love them some Grace and Frankie whenever Ernie Hudson's on it. They just
Well, of
they
course, but
love
Ernie
that
Hudson
guy.
Ernie Hudson's incredible, and he is not. And I love Ernie Hudson too. If he sees this episode, if any of his team sees this episode, I'm not saying this disparagingly, but he's not a young man, and he is out here with the energy of a 25-year-old
Yeah,
on set to set to set, doing his thing, being a professional, and actually now in the like in the climax of his career, and in the journey that it took for him to get here, being in one of the biggest blockbusters of all time, the Ghostbusters. I mean, that's and he's in everything now. Give us Ernie Hudson is what people are saying, and his price is going up. What's the price? Not the same as yesterday. It's going to be higher tomorrow.
absolutely.
So I think he deserves this little negotiation point. And Daniel was in the chat. I feel like Ernie Hudson's more likely to come back than anyone else. But to our point, Daniel, what we're saying is that everyone else is back, confirmed in contracts. What we don't have is Ernie Hudson.
I
We don't know
think
that he's signed.
somebody might have said not recently, but maybe weeks ago that yeah, it was all over the news like 2 or 3 weeks ago. He was on some talk show. I think he was on
He said
Kelly Clarkson.
he said he saw scripts. He said he read scripts. It says
Well,
that he was kind of like, I kind of like where it's going, sort of thing. He wasn't like all in.
I gotcha. Do you think he's still negotiating?
I think 100% he's still negotiating, and
All
I
right,
think
all
they
right.
still owe him money. And everyone's like, "Well, this is a new thing; it's a new time." I think they still owe him money from GB1 and GB2.
You know who I'm not trying to say that I'm more interested than Ernie Hudson about this guy, but no matter what, I will feel like we're being cheated if we do not get Mr. Luis
Rick
Tully
Moranis.
back in the Ghostbusters universe. Rick Moranis is going to be in the next or the sequel or spin-off of Honey I Shrunk the Kids with Josh Gad. And so I absolutely believe that there's a potential for him to come back, right? He's not retired anymore. We all know why he retired because he needed to be a dad in his kids' lives. Those kids are now adults. They're probably as old as you and I. Like they don't need to
It
be
was a
watched
tough
anymore.
time that he went through, though. I was actually a big fan of the move that Rick Moranis made during that time to take
Absolutely.
that step away and just say, "I'm going to be a dad to my kids." That's super badass. That's like one of the coolest things that you could ever do. But like you said, Ted, those kids are grown now. He did his job, and the possibility of him coming back only depends on whether or not he decides that he wants to. And that role is always open for him. He's just as much a part of that franchise as anybody else. I would say it's even over Dana. I think Lewis Tully, Janine, Winston, Egon, Peter, Ray, like that's you're guaranteed a spot back in Slimer, right? So like those specific characters are always allowed back, no matter what's going on. And
Yeah.
I would only hope that they can find a way to get him back in here. It would be hilarious. Him and Slimer could literally have a Netflix show where it's just a buddy. It's just a buddy apartment show where they live together.
Netflix, are you listening? We will have millions of subscribers around the world if you get a Tully Slimer buddy cop show
Yeah.
on Netflix streaming, we'll all love the hell out of that. It'll be
Oh man, my
amazing.
God, it would be amazing, Ted. Um, but yeah, I just thought that was interesting, and it's one of my favorite movies too, The Crow. Rest in peace, Brandon Lee. And shout out to Sting, but I don't know. I just think it's weird that he's not all the way in. Um,
Legacy Nerd says they probably do owe him money. He was really the one that did most of the press for the last one. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Strange Brew with Slimer. I like it. Let's see here. Yeah, Luis, Rick, your kids are grown. We are your kids now. Like we need the attention. So please, you know what I was thinking, and this is not trying to disappoint anybody, but we're all sort of aware that Bill Murray isn't like the most enthusiastic person about being busy, right? He's not,
mhm.
and it's okay to say that. He's been an actor for. Hold on.
Yeah, it's a class 5 full roaming vapor.
Ghosts. The ghosts are running around everywhere here. Okay, so Bill Murray, he's up there in age. He doesn't want to be too busy, right? If you write him out of the universe in this next one, which is a definite possibility because there was all those rumors that he wanted to be written out of the universe, with the previous sequels that never happened, then you can fill that spot with a guy like Rick Moranis. That void of Venkman, which we're all going to be very saddened by if it ever happens, can be filled with Tully. And it's a great switch. Like it's we're not losing anything here. So I think that it's a possibility to bring Rick Moranis back into the universe, and you can give Bill the goodbye that he's been asking for, and do it in a great, memorable, uh, memorable way, sad
Yeah, no, I know
sad
what you
way,
mean. Yeah,
a hero's way out if you want to. I
heroes
think
goodbye.
a hero's goodbye. Do that for Venkman in the universe if that's still what Bill wants. And then if you need somebody to bring in afterwards, don't bother with any new characters. Just bring in Tully. Bring in Tully to kind of
It
be
doesn't
that
really feel
Ghostbuster.
right until he's back, to be honest. And while it was super nice to have the four back on screen, and Venkman even getting back, and some of the most GB2 callbacks was that sequence with Venkman and Gozer. He was kind of trash talking Gozer the same way he did Vigo there at the end of the movie, and that, I mean, all that's awesome, and seeing all of them together was great. Even Harold as a ghost, but it doesn't actually feel like everybody's back together unless Lewis Tully is there. And I just hope and pray that that happens. You bring Janos back as a hippie drinking ecto cooler. Janos was actually a great character. He
Fantastic
has,
character.
to me, he has. If I were to rank top 5 funniest lines in any Ghostbusters franchise, period, Janos is in that top 5.
Hold on. Let me think. What is the line that you're thinking of? I'm gonna guess this. I'm gonna get 3 tries, and I'm gonna try and guess what your favorite funny Janos line is.
You'll probably get it first shot.
It's either why am I covered with goo? That one?
No, not even
All right,
close.
right, right, all right, right. I got it. I got it. I just want you to know everything you're doing is bad.
I want you to know this. Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this. That is my favorite line in like literally. That's a top 5 line to me in any Ghostbusters film because he's literally just walking through as the curator, the director of this museum. It just stops at this lady out of nowhere. It just says, "Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this." And then just keeps it moving on to like sleazily hitting on Dana. It's like the funniest thing in the world. Everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this. Like, just fire her. You know what I mean? Like, it's just such a douchebag thing to say. And here's the character playing Janos. I could imagine this actor, and maybe he's probably done some comedy before, but he's on set. They're in this museum, and he's got Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, everybody's sort of sitting around. I don't know if that was in the script. I think they were probably just sitting around, and Janos was coming through, and people kind of spitballing about funny things to say. Um, and that's kind of one that hit. I don't know if you went back to the original script that's in there. I think that's a being on site with Reitman, Aykroyd, Bill Murray, and everybody, and like just kind of workshopping it. But everything you're doing is bad. I want you to know this.
Yeah, he either came up with that on the spot or it was Dan or Bill that said, "Hey, look, when you pass like a guy, here's what you should do."
Just be a pretentious asshole, and
Yeah, just
it was so good.
so good. Awesome. Well, look, we still want to hear from everybody else. What other mods, what other plans do you have for your Hasbro Haslab pack? I still have to put my head padding on. I have all the materials for it. Just got to cut, paste it on, put the ribbon, the cable ties on, and be ready to go. If you're in the San Antonio, South Texas area, we're going to be out at the Child Advocates of San Antonio facility. I should probably let me get the address as well. But we're going to be there this Saturday. And they have a great facility. They do incredible work. And they're having a community event. They're calling it the Seeds of Life. And they have a fantastic facility. The entire back area, it's about a half acre maybe, just covered in playground equipment, playscapes, little cars, toys. It's just a really cool place, and they're gonna have it open for the public to come and check out. Fantastic group. So let me see. I will find the address and let everybody know. But we will be out there this weekend on Saturday, and it would be really cool to have people come check us out. What about Yellow Rose? Anything going on soon? I think you're on mute.
My gosh, I'm sorry. But I think the next event that we have coming up that's official on the books is the Mardi Gras parade in Galveston.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So that's going to be a fun thing. Lauren's actually going to be on the float with 93Q. The Ghostbusters are going to be involved in that parade as well. So if you're in that Mardi Gras mood and you want to party a little bit, head to the coast and come take in the parade. It's going to be a good time. I think we're talking about potentially getting some things together in case there's any need for hurricane relief here in Houston. That's still up in the air, but I'll keep that posted on all of the socials and anything if we come up with something that makes sense for everyone. And we think we can do some good there. But we are looking to kind of see if there's an avenue there to help. But, other than that, I think our next official event is the Mardi Gras parade in Galveston, Texas.
That is so cool. That is amazing.
Yeah.
Here's the address. If you're in the San Antonio area, 1956 South WW White Road. And their website is casa-satx.org. And like I mentioned, it's going to be a community event, and they're going to have the entire facility open to check out. And they have very large playground for anybody that wants to come and hang out. Should be a great time. Come see the Ghostbusters of San Antonio, and yeah, hope to see you there. Not to mention, this is like a block away from Big Lou's Pizza. If you don't know what Big Lou's is, I want to say it's in the top 3 largest pizzas in the country. I don't know if it's number 1, so I'm going to say top 3. When I say largest pizzas in the country, I mean like it's a good 6 feet, maybe 5 or 6 feet in diameter. I'm not I hope you heard that right. It's like a
That's a
good
lot of pizza.
that's a good like 5 or 6 feet of pizza in diameter. The biggest pizza ovens you can imagine. But yeah, the goal is to go to this event with the team and then actually go over to Big Lou's afterwards and split a pizza 10 ways, hopefully, because it's like you mentioned, it's a lot of pizza. What's great is quick story. I had some family come into town, and it was a bunch of cousins of mine. They're all teenagers, and they were visiting from Georgia. And I said, "We're gonna take you guys to a pizza place, biggest pizza you ever seen." And they're like, "Yeah, right. Like we can throw down. We can eat some pizza. Like we're not scared of no pizza." And you should have seen their faces, jaws on the floor as they were wheeling out this massive pan, and they put it on the tables because they had like 4 tables shoved together just to make this thing fit. And their jaws were open for a good like 5 minutes. They just could not believe that anyone would ever try and cook a pizza this big. But yeah, Big Lou's Pizza is just down the road from the Child Advocates of San Antonio. So yeah, should be a good time. Come by. Let's see here. Scotty wants to know how your jacket is coming along. Any progress?
No, I literally everyone other like I have like 12 patches probably, and I'm gonna have to start collecting soon. People who said they were gonna send me some, I haven't received, and I love every franchise, and I know that these patches are limited and they come in runs, but I do need some of those to do this jacket. I can't make it with 12 patches. I need to have at least 20 more. And we talked to a lot of groups. So anyone listening, don't forget Matty B. Go ahead and send me those patches so I can get that jacket up because I want to get it for charity as soon as possible. And we also came up with the idea. I think Ted actually helped me with it. We're going to leave a square room for a name tag, but we're going to leave it open to whoever wins it so we can put their name in the custom name tag that'll be on the jacket as well. So we got some ideas, but I need some more of those patches from these franchises.
Get on it. Get on it, folks. Just kidding. Cool. Last topic of the night. I'm very excited that we're going to be talking about the upcoming DLC for Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. If you didn't catch the developer stream today, no worries. We're going to get you guys all caught up, starting with the Necroplast Twitch drop skins. These are skins for all the ghosts. You're checking them out right now. They look absolutely incredible. To grab a skin, you need to basically connect your Twitch account with the Ilphonic account. Go to ilphonic.com. There should be a link for the drop skins, and they'll probably ask for your like Twitch login or whatever. And they're going to be giving these away, I'm pretty sure. And then this starts on February 1st. So make sure you sign up by February 1st, and they will stop on February 16th. So you got a little over 2 weeks in order to try and get some of those skins, but they look awesome. You got to admit, they look awesome, right, Maddie?
I know. I think they look great. It's going to be difficult though to see them sometimes. Um, Typically, they're kind of very neon, bright colored. You can see them really easy. I mean, they have the bright orange like mouths and eyes and like facial features, but it can't. It's probably going to be a little bit difficult to see. Getting those is going to help you tremendously, I think, as a ghost.
There you go. There you go. Bryce was working on his belt gizmo earlier, and now you can wear one in Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed. Coming soon, the secondary gadget belt gizmo. And this actually has a purpose. This will actually dull or cloak. This will actually cloak you a little bit to the ectovision view that the ghosts have. So this will actually weaken your signature, and it's always on. You don't need to actually turn it on for it to work. Once you have it on, the ghosts will have a harder time seeing you with that ectovision that they have. So pretty cool that they've incorporated the belt gizmo, and it has a pretty cool purpose.
I just hate the fact that it's like khaki or white. Like, what's wrong with the black leather holster there?
Right? They should have done it that way. They should have. They really should have.
It should be the black leather holster. I think it's awesome. I'm very excited they added it.
Coming up next, a new gadget, the Disruptor Pylon. Now this is kind of cool. Keep up with me here. This is going to cover a small area on a map. It will prevent ghosts from possessing any objects within that said area. It's maybe like a 20 feet, 30-foot diameter around this thing. And also, if any possessed objects come through said area, they basically get zapped out of those objects. And they actually have a little bit of a time, a little bit of a window to escape that area. But if they don't, they get zapped right out of those objects. So this is pretty cool. And you can actually see the space when it's activated. The ghosts, though, I don't think they can see it, so they might just be falling into a trap, and they will have no idea.
Yeah, which is cool. And we saw that in Ghostbusters 2 as well in the jewelry store. And I've seen some really good mods of that as well in the community. I've seen a guy do the exact disruptor pylons from Ghostbusters 2 on the stands and everything else that looked awesome. So, giving that technology reason and purpose in the environment, awesome. And they look great.
This is really cool too. They are bringing what they're calling Proton Pack shells to Spirits Unleashed, and they're starting with the classic, the 1984 classic Proton Pack shell. It's basically what your Proton Pack should look like if you're aiming for the 84 pack. How does that look, Maddie?
It was great. I'm glad they did it. Um, and it seems as if everything keeps the same functionality, but this is just what it looks like on the screen, and I think that's awesome. I would definitely rock it more than probably some of the others. I haven't grown to love the new mods as much as this one's worn on me now for 30 years, but I love it. I'm glad they're deciding to do it.
And they didn't stop there. So that's not the only shell they are bringing into the game. I'm going to get the rest here. They are bringing in the real Ghostbusters shells to the game, starting with the real Ghostbusters animated series Proton Pack. That is gorgeous. I love it.
I'm not gonna hate.
It
I'm
looks
not a
so
real.
cool.
I know, but people hate me for it. But I'm not a big real Ghostbusters fan. But I can see how this is really awesome for a lot of people who didn't get into it. A lot of people's first foray into this was the real Ghostbusters. That's their Ghostbusters fandom. And then the movies kind of supplement that. I was kind of the opposite. But again, I'm glad to see it here. And it just shows that these teams working on our creative projects really do care about what we think at the end of the day. They are taking that into consideration. It looks awesome. And I'm glad that it's evolved, especially what do we get? We got some different hairstyles, and we got the trap we got the real Ghostbusters trap too, right?
Oh, they're gonna show it right now. So the PKE meter, you
Oh
got
yeah.
your real Ghostbusters looking PKE meter, and then they also have the classic 1984 PKE there as well. So you're gonna be able to switch between those different looks, which is amazing. Same thing with the traps. That's awesome.
Yeah. It is awesome. You can just go straight back to the real Ghostbusters. That's awesome. And it's going to look so cool when everybody's in there. You're playing a big match, and some people have the 84 stuff, some people have the Spirits Unleashed stuff. There's going to be a couple players in there with the real Ghostbusters stuff, and you can literally have all of that going in the same match. So it's awesome. I mean, what more could you ask for? I saw the Spangler hair, I think, and then the Janine Melnitz look.
Yeah, I'm gonna get those right now. 1 second. Yeah, so they added more to the actual look of your players. You can really change up facial features. They even like showed what the maximum length of a nose would look like. I wouldn't want to recommend that to anybody. But if you want to do that, you absolutely could. And let's see here. And they also included the hairstyles for your real Ghostbusters characters. So let me try and find that real quick. Internet's acting up. Of course it would right now. But check out the Janine hairstyle. There you go.
With the mask.
Yeah. More items to wear, which is pretty cool. Also, they incorporated patches that you can wear. And I don't think there are any that you can upload just yet. But you can see on the left there, he has a Tobin Spirit Guide patch on the left side of his flight suit. So they were almost listening to us because we said we want to upload our charter patches. So not that capability just yet. Hopefully that's something that they will let us do in the future. Maybe
Yeah,
they're
that would
worried about like what you would add to it. Like people can,
yeah.
add some things that you probably shouldn't be adding to a game.
Symbolism can be interpreted a lot of different ways, but the I just don't know why you would ever want a Tobin Spirit Guide patch. Like I get how you would like maybe a Tobin Spirit Guide sticker that you put on your pack, but like to actually thread it onto your suit, a Tobin Spirit Guide patch. Like I don't know. I'm not going to use that. What do you think?
Tobin, not no.
If it was Raise the Cold books, even I
They
would have a
have
patch.
Raise a Colt. I would use Raise.
Yeah,
You wouldn't use Raise?
I would use Raise for sure. I wouldn't have Tobin Spirit Guide patched onto my suit.
It looks so cool with the real Ghostbusters gadgets on the belt. That's pretty awesome. Also, a new tenured system. Yes, they've added a Stay Puffed Marshmallow suit to the game. So if you max out the tenure, there might be a handful of you who have. That's what suit you're gonna get next. The
The
Stay
Stay Puft is
Puffed
sick.
suit. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Other than that, we got a new map called the Facility. They showed some photos of that online, and
Yeah, it's like a morgue, right?
yeah, pretty much. And that's it. We don't know exactly when the DLC is going to drop. It is going to be free, and it is coming soon. They just don't know exactly when. Donnie is in the chat saying, "Hello, Ted, Maddie, and all. Hope everyone is well. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Hope you are well as well." So if you missed the developer stream, you can find that on Twitch. Just search Ilphonic. There's their logo there. ILLFONIC to watch the entire thing. The last 30 minutes of this is actual gameplay. There's those patches we're talking about.
Yeah.
Tobin, Slimer. I put Slimer. Terror Dog. A few Terror Dogs on there. Oh, the the cards. And you can put them in different places. I forgot about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. But the Raise the Cult patch, yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's cool. You can tell they were listening to us, but they just can't do everybody's patches. They won't let you load them either. I mean, they can't be responsible for all the stuff. Like, let's say one group turns out to be super weird and they were like scamming people or, you know, it was like, one group really wasn't doing with it what they were supposed to, and everything was uploaded in like a part. You know what I mean? I just don't know if they're ever going to take that risk to be like let everyone upload their own independent designs and.
There should be. You're right. It's too much risk. Too much risk, right? Unless there was a vetting process, and I know this sounds stupid. They're never going to go for it, but if you would um like upload onto a server, either Ilphonic or like Steam. What are the other Epic, right? Epic
Mhm.
Games. You log into your Epic account and you can upload your logo. Let's just say it's not even a logo. Let's say it's your gamer profile. Your gamer profile is what you can put as a patch, right? And now it's not on Ilphonic anymore. Now it's on Xbox or PlayStation, if whether or not they allow you to put your actual profile to make sure and check it to make sure it's not profanity or any anything just crazy or weird, right? So as
Mhm.
long as you could upload your gamer profile to the patch, I think that should be a thing, and then people can do it that way. Because I would 100% put a Ghost Heads Radio patch as my gamer profile, and then
Oh
it would
yeah.
go on the skin. That would be incredible.
Oh, I would play it every day if I could get a Ghostbusters Radio logo on my suit.
Just
Oh
saying.
no.
Just
Um,
saying.
but yeah, but that's good, man. I think we covered it. What do you think? Do we got anything else?
No, no, no. That's it for now. Plenty more news coming out regarding the movie because they're just finishing pre-production. The entire crew's over there in London, so like, get ready for set photos, potential leaks. No spoilers from us, but we will, talk about kind of the smaller stories that we hear. But we're really excited. The movie is gearing up. The big question is, will they be done in time for a December release? I'm hopeful. I am not confident, though, that
No
they
way.
can do that.
I'm saying no way. Movie is coming out in 2024.
I unfortunately, like, that would be the safe bet. That would be the safe bet. Expected 2024. I really would hate for Sony to push it back a lot, but maybe you do it
I don't hate if they
Ghostbusters
do,
Day
as long as they give me
2024.
something else they promised in between. Like, let's say in September, October, November, we get one of those animated movies, or we get part of the series, or something like that. Like, that's totally fine. I just give me something in between that time. It seems like we haven't heard much about some of these other projects we were promised, and I would love to understand where the series is, where the animated movies are, where this comic book is. I'd like some updates on some of that stuff.
Absolutely. More coming soon. Also, we have some interviews that we're probably going to be doing pretty soon with people around Ghostbusters, artists, writers, and other things that we have in the works right now. So be on the lookout and stay tuned because I think that the next few months are going to be pretty exciting for us. And, we can't wait. I just want to take a shot in the dark. I'd say on average, most films take probably 3 months on average on principal photography. Let's say they start February, 3 months puts them at May, and I would give it another 3 months worth of post production. That's late August, maybe early October. That's a tight window. It's a tight window between mid late October to your December release. Can it be done? Maybe. You've heard of movies, even like big blockbuster IP movies. I think Star Wars may be one of them. I think Episode 9, they were like editing up until like the week before its release. And it's like, it sounds insane, but like sometimes that happens. I do not wish that upon this franchise. I want everything to be done nice and smoothly, everybody happy, fans happy, the crew's happy. That's what I want, but we'll see what happens. But it is a tight window. So let's hope for the best. Pray for not for the worst. But yeah, awesome. Well, we want to hear from you guys. Don't forget to let us know what mods you have in store for your Haslab Proton Pack. Send us photos, send us pictures, send us some videos. Cannot wait. Are you excited about the DLC? What's the biggest announcement that you were excited to hear about? Let us know in the chat. And we'll see you guys next week for the Ghost Heads Radio Show. My name is Ted, aka Steady. I plan on having my padded head, my head pad on the Alice frame by next week, and I can show that bad boy off, and it should look nice. And if it doesn't, I'll throw the whole thing away. I'm just kidding. I would never do that. And joining me, as always, my partner in crime, the one and only Matty B.
We did it.
We did
And I'm
it.
glad you guys were here with us. And tune in next week, Wednesday. Let's dive into some stuff. And if you guys, in the meantime, send over some of the mods that you see that you like a lot. Because I'm very interested to see. But appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And see you next week.
Peace.